Bagworms. They are disgusting. The reason why they're called bagworms is because the pod they grow in, that they build for themselves and then lay their eggs, looks like this. Now this was found hanging from one of my cypress trees. There are literally hundreds of them on the tree, and once the babies inside are ready to come out, they look like this. Tough to see very closely, but it looks like part of the tree, doesn't it? The fact that this looks like a pine cone and the bug looks like that means that you might not discover that you've got a bagworm problem until you've got a big problem. For instance, when the tree looks like that. That's what alerted me to my problem. So what do you do about bagworms? Well, this one was found clinging to one of my azalea bushes, believe it or not. The bugs are really resourceful, and they pull matter from the plant or tree that they're attached to and put those around their pod. So it really is an excellent camouflage. Hard to figure out what you've got, that you've got a problem until you've got a big one. So what do you do to solve the problem? Well, the first thing that you do, depending on how advanced your problem is, you've got to remove these pods from the tree. Let me see if I can find some that I haven't removed yet. Okay, so you see the pod hanging there? Looks like a pine cone. You've got to pluck those from the tree. If you've got a big problem, you've got hundreds of these things in there. I've already plucked quite a few out, so I'm having trouble finding more. But first you've got to pluck those out. Then you've got to treat the base of the tree so that bad stuff for the insect, is sucked up into the root system. And in effect, every time these bugs take a bite, they get sick and die. Now here are a whole bunch of bagworms, the worms, clinging to the branches and slowly killing my cypress trees. I've got 5 cypress trees in front of my house. This one had the most pods. They don't fly really from tree to tree, so the way their primary mode of transportation is actually the wind, and there is quite a bit of wind in North Texas. So it wasn't very hard for them to blow in the breeze. You see this one hanging by a string, by a thread. It's about ready to take off in the wind. See it? They go from tree to tree that way, from plant to plant, tree to tree that way. So if you live in a windy place like I do, you can wind up with a pretty widespread problem pretty quickly. Bagworms. They are absolutely devastating, and they're disgusting. But this tree has now been treated, and so hopefully the problem will go away. Make sure that you take a look at all of your adjacent plants when you've got a problem. For instance, this plant over here, not even a pine-looking tree or plant, but there's one hanging right there. And the bugs did their best to try to camouflage it with matter that came directly from that plant. Again, pluck them out and treat the plant or the tree.